Yeah.
My kid is not motivated. They have no goal in life. They just there, okay?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we're learning as we read more about this is, again, going back to the idea of skills.
Okay.
Sometimes the acting out is from frustration because they're not at the right skill level to do whatever they're
Okay.
supposed to do. And the research shows that in terms of the brain development, there's a part of the brain that develops much slower in humans, the prefrontal cortex, this part here.
Yeah.
And that usually is fully developed about mid-20s,
Okay.
okay, late 20s. And research does show that this part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, controls something called the executive function, or EF,
Okay.
which is basically helping us get things done. Planning, prioritizing, time, a sense of time,
Right.
managing our emotions, starting, finishing tasks. And you can imagine these would impact school and work
Right.
tremendously, right?
Okay.
So the research shows that for those with ADHD, the development of the prefrontal cortex about 30% behind. It's nothing to do with IQ, but it's to do with
Right.
development.
Okay.
So in human years, it could be about 3 to 8 years gap.
Oh, wow.
So think about it, like in Singapore, and I'm sure it's in many parts of the world, there's like a major exam at a certain point in time. For us, it's 12 years old. So if all the 12-year-old kids are doing this major national exam, a kid with ADHD potentially at best could be 9 years old developmentally, not IQ. But we're expecting them to perform at the level of a 12-year-old.
When you say 9-year-old versus 12-year-old, it's not a IQ developmental aspect of it, but a lot more is the skill set. So can you distill down a little bit more what that means?
Yeah, so no, I gave some examples just now about planning, about having a sense of time management.
Right.
So many of the kids over time might pick up certain things just by seeing other people do it. How to plan the day, how to break things down. But for those with ADHD, besides the lack of self-awareness, we are a little bit behind in certain skills like that. So it needs to be a lot of intentionality,
Okay.
scaffolding.
Got it.
Like helping them to break things down, segmentize, that sort of reward system as well. Because we also lower in a chemical called dopamine, which is a feel-good motivational thing.
Yeah.
And I mentioned earlier that we're very much interest-based, not priority-based. So boring is almost like a literal pain
Got
for
it.
ADHDers. Whereas
That's
others
very
that don't have the condition, they could almost like force themselves or psych themselves to do it. So that's where the struggles come. When it's a very unmotivating, uninteresting kind of thing, which in the school system, pretty much globally, you don't have much choice at a certain level, right? It's only when you get older you could sort of specialize or choose what you're good at. And so that's where the struggles come as well sometimes.
Got it.